everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from hot and spicy Salt Lake City, Utah.
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
Podcast. Wow.
I'm Frank Feldman.
You got hot and spicy.
Well, I just following your lead.
There you go. And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up today, we are going to be asking ourselves about essentially surviving the apocalypse, and if it even makes any sense to try.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
First of all,
really going to stockpile guns?
maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Well, the apocalypse is coming.
I have a stockpile of guns.
Thanks to the never ceasing efforts of Christian fundamentalists.
Yeah, there is.
They are intent on bringing it about.
Well, here's the thing. They're prepping for it.
Yeah.
And it seems like at some point there's going to be a turn.
It's like the prep. It's a chicken and egg thing.
We'll
right?
get to it. We'll
the
get to it.
prepping. What came first, the apocalypse or the prepping?
Right.
Well, wait. No, that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. You are correct. Oh my God! But before we get to that,
we should acknowledge something, Dan.
we made our goal.
We did, and so everyone, did you notice there was no ad?
There's no ad on this
There was
show.
no ad.
And that is because we made our. Is this our second goal?
We hit the second one. So now half of the shows are ad free.
Half.
Half
You
the
guys,
shows.
you've done it. You've gotten us to halfway.
Yeah.
And we're so close to the other goals.
Yeah.
These are not hard goals to hit.
Yeah.
Our next goal.
We're only 21 people away from the next goal. 46 people away from
The final
just
goal.
ads being done forever.
Forever.
So
So if you want to help be a part of that, look, we know how many of you are listening. We have seen those numbers. We have access to them. And
we are aware of them.
And we know how many people are donating. Let's just say that the percentages...
The people who are currently donating are carrying more than their fair share. Let's put it that way.
But we're not trying to guilt you. We're not trying to make you feel bad. We're just saying some of you might want to consider going to thankgodimatheist.com. Click the support us thing, or click the tab on the right hand, or the bar on the right hand side of the screen, and just donate whatever you want. We're looking for a number of people, not a specific amount.
Yeah.
You donate what you're comfortable with and what you feel great about.
Yeah.
And then we'll feel great about you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's get the show going.
Yeah, do that.
Dan. Woo. I'm going to start with my update. I have a story that is sort of continuing a story that I covered last week about this Representative Matt Shea. Didn't talk tons about him, just sort of mentioned that there was a connection between him and this group of young men that are getting trained up in the art of Christian and biblical warfare.
Oh, yeah, this is the guy. Are you okay?
I was fighting that so hard.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the...
Let me...
Okay.
Matt Shea, the Washington State representative,
Right.
State level, the legislature, who has this connection, right, to this group of young men who are being trained up in the art of Christian and biblical warfare.
Right. This is kind of... We'll get to it, but yes, he's a nutball. They're nutballs.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of balls of nuts.
So here's the update.
Okay.
Spokane, which is up there.
A town in Washington.
Up in Washington.
Sure.
Their police chief and mayor have declared this state representative unfit for office.
What?
After, get this, leaked emails revealed that Matt Shea was seeking to conduct surveillance on local progressive leaders as part of his quest to establish a 51st state governed,
Yeah.
by the cast of The Handmaid's Tale.
Right.
So the mayor, they're sort of freaking out. In fact, the leaked emails show that Shea was collecting intelligence on council members and the council president.
Holy shit.
He says, this is the mayor saying, our nation, our state, and our city only work because our citizens have granted authority to the leaders They elect to serve them. When an elected official's personal actions threaten the public trust in our public institutions and foundational principles, it's time for that person to resign. This is where Representative Shea finds himself. They're members of the same party. They're both Republicans.
Wow.
This is a Republican mayor denouncing the state representative, who I'm assuming must represent Spokane or part of Spokane.
Also, can he please just also list Donald Trump in that same quote applies directly to the president of these United States.
Yeah. So apparently, in addition to these dossiers on the council members, he also apparently he was trying to purchase GPS trackers.
Oh my God!
He was
to put on their cars or whatever.
Yeah, so you can keep track of everybody.
Well,
he fretted about contact with federal agents and kept a blacklist of suspected informants in his network. The emails and documents also revealed that Shea plotted to establish a provisional government in the event of a collapse, and boasted about his efforts to turn back the tide of those who practice Islam in the United States.
Wow.
This guy is scary, real deal scary.
Yeah.
He's got the haircut to match. He's got that
just, Hitler Youth sort of
Hitler
haircut.
Youth haircut, high and tight.
Yikes.
I'm not going to besmirch
the haircut,
your haircut, Dan, but you do look a little bit like a white supremacist lately.
Look,
or is it that they look like you?
They look like me. I think that's very clear. I'm old at this point. They're copying me.
Oh, is that what it is? Isn't that a strange convergence, though? Of the kind of the stylish haircut that people are doing, and get it nice and short on the side,
Proud Boys or whatever,
a little bit of style on the top, right?
Yeah,
and they're doing the same thing. It's so weird.
They're
doing it as part of their uniform, though.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
their thing.
That plus their khakis and their and their polo shirt or whatever.
Their white faces.
Oh my goodness! Speaking of white people.
Do we have to
take us down to Texas, where
I'm tired of us, Dan.
and also speaking of guns and training and that sort of thing.
Oh, geez, another one.
There's a new industry. It's very popular apparently in Texas and other parts of this country.
Okay.
I found an article that it follows one. Oh, what's his name? Anyway, why can't I find his name? David Riggle. I knew I'd find it if
that was good.
Yeah, thanks. David Riggle, a police officer, who has trained to become and worked to become an official security guard trainer, licensed and bonded in the state of Texas.
Oh, okay.
He will be. So he trains volunteer security guards for churches.
Oh, okay.
Ever since the advent of the new... I mean, we're in a different world right now. The United States of America...
It's on lockdown.
We throw a mass shooting on the daily at this point.
Oh.
We might as well think of it as a party because we just keep on having them. And some of them have been in churches. So while a lot of security experts say that's exactly the opposite of what they should be doing, they are training, they are sending civilians into full-on training facilities with guns with blanks in them. They go and they clear the halls and they go through the different things and they train them on active shooter scenarios and that. Now, they also train them on things like de-escalation.
Oh, good.
Which is good.
Good, yeah.
And, that sort of thing. But it is interesting that we now live in a country that has that for an industry. The train people to protect their churches with guns industry.
Oh, my God. Well, and even a step down from that, Dan. Right?
Yeah.
Because this is a level of reaction, and in certain communities, I'm not surprised that that's the reaction.
Right.
But guess what conversation people have at work these days?
Yeah.
What's the quickest way out of here?
Yeah.
Right? If somebody comes in that door with a gun, where do you go? Somebody comes in that door with a gun. Where do you go?
Listen, the Postal Service has been having this conversation for decades. So
they maybe
that's
probably
who we should turn to.
Of consultants who we can rescue them from.
No, I mean, I know teachers in this state who have posted about being, going to active shooter training.
Yeah.
So, what a fun world we're living in. We'll talk more about that at the end of the show. That's exciting. Why don't you give us another story before we're all super depressed?
You want something to cheer you up, Dan?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Something tells me you're going to do that.
This might do it. Dan.
Oh, okay. Great.
Pennsylvania.
A state in this union, so we're not in the clear yet.
So let's do Pennsylvania.
Okay.
A priest.
Oh God.
A predilection for the men.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
And access to $100,000
of his money.
So what is? Oh no, parish money.
Okay.
Right. At least that's how much she's being accused of stealing.
Oh, wow.
$100,000, which they believe was basically used to pay for a beach house, boyfriends, dinner, and travel. I mean, come on, Monsignor Joseph McClune, 58 years old. He apparently has been using Grindr.
Yeah.
To find men to then lure with thousands of dollars to come have sex with him. What he doesn't understand is you don't have to pay
you don't
for
have
it.
to lure them.
You don't have to pay for it.
Somebody needed to tell him.
Gay men will just have sex. Like, you can always find someone to have sex with you.
Oh my God.
This is not hell. This is like
hell. Put on your Grindr a profile that you're a priest. It will actually help things.
Yeah, come defrock me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm into defrockings.
Right. Here's the thing. I have two questions.
Come be my altar boy.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you'll find people. That's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Here, I have two questions about this story. One, I guess I guess that's embezzlement. Like, isn't he allowed to decide what to do with the parish's money?
No, it's total embezzlement.
But isn't he entrusted with the right to sort of choose how?
I think where it becomes embezzlement, and I'm not an expert on these things, but I'm just going to kind of guess. The moment that you paid for sex with the money, it's like guaranteed embezzlement. If he had just paid for a beach house, he probably could have gotten away with it.
I know.
Right? Like, you could have had some upset parishioners who were like, you misused the money.
Right.
But it's like, and they pay for him to live in probably a nice home.
Right.
Right. Adjacent to or near their church.
Yeah.
Right. Monsignor, the guy has a certain rank, right?
Yeah.
Like, he probably lived in a nice home and had some nice things. And
that's what I'm saying.
And but doing it without permission,
right?
Without running it through, without going to like some board or whatever. That's where it's embezzlement.
Yeah,
that's how it's misusing it.
Okay,
right?
Question number 2.
Okay.
Don't we just kind of think that this is like a relief? Way better than just than hearing about like he wasn't molesting anybody.
Like, this should be encouraged.
The other people he was dealing with sex workers apparently. I'm on board. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, well,
go get your rocks off. Consenting adults, great. If we're talking about like, trafficked 14-year-olds,
no,
I would be upset.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's Grindr. You have to assume that everybody there is an adult
and consenting.
I mean, yeah,
consent.
I guess.
I've been
on Grindr in a long time, but my
profile's still active, so
I'm sure it is. Dan the Man, 69.
Oh my God! All right. Well, I'm going to take us to. I'm going to stick around in Texas. My last one was in Texas. This one's in Texas, where a federal judge has ruled on a lawsuit brought by the Center for Inquiry in Texas. The CFI brought this suit because Texas law prohibits secular officiants from officiating a wedding.
Oh.
So the only people that can officiate a wedding legally in Texas, and by the way, if you try to officiate a wedding and you're not one of these people, it is a Class A misdemeanor.
Really?
Yes, it is. So the only people are, and these are listed in the statute, in the code.
Okay.
1, a licensed or ordained Christian minister or priest.
Oh.
2, a Jewish rabbi.
Okay.
3, and really, you don't need 1 or 2 if you have 3, but 3 is a person who is an officer of a religious organization and who is authorized by the organization to conduct a marriage ceremony.
Okay.
So 1 and 2 are kind of redundant once you put 3 in there.
It's clear that 3 was an afterthought, but they weren't willing to take out 1 and 2.
No, because it's a Judeo-Christian nation.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then 4 is lists every kind of judge or justice of the peace that you can imagine.
Gotcha.
And then 5 is like retired judge or magistrate or whatever.
What about like mayors and whatnot?
No. I don't know.
Elected officials can't?
I assume that they can.
I think they should be able to.
Anyway, maybe not. Looks like it's all judges.
Huh.
Judge. Well, here's the thing. It basically, if you have to use a judge or if you don't want a person who is affiliated with the religion, first of all, if you want a Texas judge to officiate your wedding, you're getting a religious person. Like almost all the judges are religious people.
Right. That makes sense.
And some of them will throw religious language in. B, judges aren't easy to book, and they aren't easy to get out to your wedding out in the middle of nowhere or whatever,
Right.
on a farm or something. So it's not. It's tricky, and the CFI was just saying, look, they're literally discriminating against those of us who don't have a religious option.
Yeah.
Well, the judge has ruled against the CFI.
Oh, God.
The judge has basically said that taking a page from not Samuel Alito, from the late Scalia, Antonin Scalia, they're saying, well, it's been this practice has been going on since the founding of our country. It has always been a religious person that has had to do it. So what's the problem? And also, it doesn't provide an undue burden, and just basically ignored the truth of the matter, which is that secular people are left hung out to dry on this one. So there you go. In Texas, I mean, huge surprise, secular people are being shit on in Texas. Wow.
I'm upset.
Now, mind you, of course, if you wanted your buddy to officiate your wedding, you could still have them go online to any number of bullshit fake religions that will give you, that will credential you as a minister of their religion for $25 or whatever. But you still have to pretend that you are you're basically affirming that you're a minister of a religion.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And even if that's the Flying Spaghetti Monster Church,
I know.
It's still bullshit.
I know somebody, atheist.
Yeah.
Her fiance, atheist. His brother was going to do the officiating. Right. Not a particularly religious person. And this is it's true, and it's just ridiculous. He signs up for the thing in like the week between, or 2 weeks between like signing up for the damn thing. It goes to his head, right? And
what?
And he ends up inserting all this Christian crap
what
into the ceremony. and everybody in there was just appalled.
What?
It was so weird.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, learn your lesson. Vet your officiants well. Communicate clearly.
Oh, they had.
Oh, my
His
God.
brother. It was amazing. The looks on their faces.
Yeah.
It was just...
Were you there for this?
Oh, yeah. It was amazing. Like, and looking around, like, is this the kind of ceremony they want? This doesn't really match them very well. It was amazing.
That is insane.
It was amazing. Anyway.
Now I kind of want to do that.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, exactly. Now, look.
Dan the officiant, you never know.
I'll officiate your wedding, but I might be a wild card. You never know. I will definitely not do that. Well, that's very funny.
Anyway, all right, Dan.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this drag queen story hour.
Oh my God. Let me tell you something. These drag queens, they are a problem. For a lot of people.
For a lot of people. A lot of people get really, really miffed that drag queens go to libraries.
That fun people tell stories to their children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, won't someone think of the children?
Well, this story comes to us from Ottawa.
Okay. That would be Ottawa, Ontario in Canada?
That is correct.
Okay.
Where about 100 parents and children were attending one of these storytelling events at the Westcliff Community Center.
I know it well.
Oh, do you?
No.
It's okay.
But I do know Ottawa pretty well.
Is it near your mom's?
Might be.
Near your mom's?
My mom.
Anyway, when a group of protesters showed up.
Uh-oh.
And let me tell you, you don't want to rile up the drag queens.
No. They are fortified against you, sir.
They've dealt with worse than you.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you're bringing, they're bringing it hotter.
And you can tell. This is just one picture, one still from some video.
Which is a drag queen with a finger up and all the sass in her face.
Like, the posture is sassy.
Yeah.
Everything is sassy. Adriana Expose, who was running the event, they came running in, accusing her of dressing like a whore.
Okay.
It's like, no, she's totally glamorous. Like, come on, that's not how a whore dresses.
Exactly. Oh, I'm sorry. Have you never seen a ball gown before?
Are you teaching children to be whores? The man can be heard saying on the video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, on their way out. Believe in Jesus, kids. Don't believe in LGBTQ.
Oh. Well, one of them was just standing right in front of me.
Yeah.
And the other one I've never seen.
Yeah. So guess what?
So guess which one I'm going to believe in?
Guess what?
For sure.
I just like the idea of don't believe in LGBTQ.
Right.
Like, it's like this thing.
Don't
LGBTQ.
Don't believe in the letters. The letters are liars.
Yeah. These people who have life experience.
Yeah.
And can attest to, no, I'm gay.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Don't believe in it. I'm
trans.
Frank, I don't believe in you.
I know.
I don't believe.
What does that mean? I think it's absolutely amazing. Of course, people were just devastated.
Well, here's the other thing.
It's ugly.
It is.
It's ugly.
It's ugliness. But here's the thing.
Canadians aren't used to that level of ugliness.
Mm-hmm, they're getting there. It wafts up from below.
Oh no!
Here's the thing: the parents that bring their kids to Drag Queen Story Hour, they're not going to put up with that shit. No. Like, the parents aren't going to be like, "Oh, I should be protesting." Well, that guy's right. That guy's got it going on. I get it now.
I know that this is not a visual medium that we're engaged in here.
Yes,
but I did show you a picture.
Well, we have a YouTube
referenced
channel.
it.
People now know about it.
And I don't know if you noticed behind Adriana Expose, but there's a woman, a parent woman, and a kid, and they're all just sort of amuse. Right? Like,
of course,
like they're not even like. It's
oh my god,
it's so ridiculous, right? Like it's people are just like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like what is this?
All of these kids are going to go home 100% in the LGBTQ camp.
They already were there.
Right. They were already there, but like this solidifies it for life.
Yeah, that's true.
These kids, that guy just did these parents the favor of never having to worry about about a like teenage rebellion into the dark side of Christianity or whatever.
Yeah.
Because these kids will always just be like, no, those guys are assholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
It's a beautiful thing.
Right, especially since what you're interrupting is like someone doing something really fun and nice.
Yeah, the best reading of Hungry Hungry Caterpillar, or the Very Hungry Caterpillar, whatever it's called. Right.
Yeah.
That you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah. There's a very entertaining person giving their time up to entertain you.
Clifford the Big Red Dog has never
been so fun.
Leapt off the pages.
Right. Oh my god.
Anyway, I don't even know.
It's so stupid.
The two children's books, I know.
What do I know of
I was
going to be like, I was wondering what you were going to pull next. Hop on Pop?
Baghdad Ate It.
What?
Oh, that was a good one.
Never heard of
Loved that one.
It's
about a dog.
Sounds political.
No, it's about a dog named Baghdad.
Okay.
Ate everything.
We
loved it. That was the hot book at my school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, who checked it out from the library? I wanted it this time. I'm going to end us in Wyoming, where police are recommending charges. What kind of a world do we live in when, to me, it is news that a couple of priests, who are as yet unnamed, have been recommended for actual sex abuse charges by secular, police officials? That they haven't been, that they're actually going to face real world non-church consequences. They're not just losing their job or, being transferred to Omaha or whatever.
Right.
They're actually going to face possible jail time. I just think, to me, that's like, we did it!
Yay!
Two of them!
After all of this.
Who haven't even gone to trial yet, but at least the police aren't being like, well, they should probably handle this within the church or what. I mean, it's people are doing their job. It's all related to stuff that happened in the 70s and 80s, but I don't care.
Right.
It's happening.
Let's get it done.
Let's
keep this ball rolling.
Oh yeah, man. Let's make this some momentum. We could get people who committed crimes in the 90s.
That would be.
We could get people who committed crimes in the aughts.
Oh my god.
Possible?
Imagine.
Possible?
I don't know.
You never know. The world's a wild and wacky place.
Oh my god. I don't know.
Oh, well, there you go. Hey, if you guys would like to comment on anything you've heard today or anything you will hear today, you can do it. You can write to us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yes, go to the Facebook page, too, facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
And while on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It's a closed group, but we will let you in.
Yep.
Dan.
Hey.
So hate preacher, what's his name?
Steven Anderson.
The guy has been banned from country after country.
Yeah, literally
all over the world.
He's not allowed to go anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
I think we should try to get him banned state by state. Let's see how tight, how small we can make his circle of
Unfortunately,
words.
we can't.
Okay.
Not in these United States.
No.
Not something that's allowed.
Here's the thing. Here's what all you need to remember as background for this clip that we're about to play of this man is that the reason he's not allowed in Denmark, in Australia, in the UK, all over the world. The reason...
It's like African countries that have said, no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Africa, you guys.
Yeah.
He's not allowed in parts of Africa. And the reason that he's not allowed in all of these places is because he has spoken so vitriolically against LGBTQ people. He's against, he's horribly misogynistic.
Oh, he's awful.
He takes all of the worst parts of the Bible, and those are the only parts of the Bible that he cares about.
Yeah.
He was the guy that organized Make America Straight Again, which was a conference.
Oh, well, why not,
Yeah. He's banned from 33 countries.
Oh, God.
And here's what he had to say. Note that he will call out another preacher.
He's saying, Jeremiah, you will have a rod. Obviously, he's going to have to crack some skulls with that rod. Obviously, he's going to have that rod of being a leader and speaking some harsh things. But he said, you know what? You're also going to plant. You're going to build your... You know what he's saying, Jeremiah? You're going to bring forth fruit. You are going to have a fruitful ministry. And there are ministries online. All they do is just destroy, root out, pull down, throw down. And people are like, man, I'm loving this hard preaching. This guy knows how to throw down. This guy really is ripping some face. Man, okay, but is there any fruit? Is there any building going on? Is there any planting going on? Or is it just all negative all the time? And we could go on and on about examples. One famous example is the Westboro Baptist. False prophet. The guy had a wrong salvation, wrong gospel, wrong doctrine, not saved, total heresy, and he's just getting up and just ripping on homos all the time. But when did he ever get up and preach the gospel of Jesus Christ? Never. When did he ever have a positive message about reaching people with the gospel, winning souls, all the good things? Never. Why? Because he had no fruit. He's without fruit, twice dead. He's a tree whose fruit withered.
But notice, he's okay with the preaching against the
homos.
So-called homos.
The homos.
Right.
As long as
there's also, a message about,
building. Fruit. Here's the thing.
You need fruit.
He's anti-homos,
fruit,
but pro-fruit.
He's pro-fruit.
I feel like he's a little confused, to be perfectly honest.
Dan, that's cute.
You gotta love when one hate preacher is like, that other preacher.
Yeah.
Too hateful. That's my problem.
He looks a lot like the guy on Lost.
Yeah.
What's his name? I just can't come up with the guy's name.
Yeah, he's a low rent
Yeah.
version of that, like in a badly cut
Just
suit.
Bad suit. But even like he kind of has like the voice a little bit. It's kind of weird.
Oh my God.
So he must be like, I wonder if they're related. They share a common ancestor, maybe.
There you go. There you go. Well,
that's a trip. That is
Yeah.
a real trip, though.
Oh my God. Well, we had some folks write into us and call into us.
Yeah, we did.
First thing is from Claire. Claire writes in, Dear Frank and Dan, I got on the bus today and there was a woman sitting on the bus with a large cart packed with what looked like small suitcases. She was bent over, face buried in her hands, shoulders heaving, rocking back and forth, looking like she was weeping her heart out.
Oh, boy.
I thought, oh my gosh, maybe she's suddenly homeless? Obviously, she's having a horrible day. Being the immoral heathen that I am, I went over and asked her solicitously, Ma'am, are you okay? Is there something we can do to help you? She raised a sunny face to me and chirped cheerfully, Oh, I'm fine. I was just praying.
Oh.
A few minutes later, she started to give some sort of Christian testimony to another woman on the bus.
Oh, boy.
When it was my stop, I got up and held out a piece of paper I had written on. Ma'am, I asked, do you like scripture quotes? Why, yes, she replied. I read the Bible all the time. I handed her the paper where I had scrawled Matthew chapter 6, verses 5 through 8. She didn't know that one. She said she didn't know that one, but would look it up as soon as she got home. Well, Claire. Oh, Claire.
Something about preaching.
This is the one about, and when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites. For they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners and be seen by men.
Well done, Claire.
I tell you the truth, They have received their reward in full, etc., etc.
I love it.
Oh,
I love it. Well played.
Biblical snark. Little Bible snarking.
You had some fun that day.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? You want to play a VM, a voicemail?
Yes, I am going to play us a VM.
Please do.
A V-mail.
A V-mail. Ooh, why did that not take off?
It should have.
We got email. Why don't we have V-mail?
I just got a V-mail.
Oh, my goodness. Missed opportunity, society.
Okay. Well, this is from a listener who we've heard his voice a number of times actually on the show. And he's responding to an email from last week's show about sort of Mormon recruiting practices.
Yeah.
But we'll just let him tell the story.
Hey, Frank and Dan, it's Donnie, Mountain Shasta, California. I've talked to you before. So on the latest episode, you were reading an email from a girl a woman who grew up in Indianapolis and had a bunch of friends that were basically recruited to Mormonism, and you postulated that since they weren't getting a lot of converts in the United States, that they were targeting youth. And I actually work with a woman whose daughter is 14 years old, and she came to me because she knew that I was raised Mormon and was very concerned because her daughter kept being invited to these potlucks and youth events and all this stuff. And every time she would go over to their house, they would basically use the time to proselytize and to encourage her to learn more about the church, and even have the missionaries over at their house once when she went over to just have dinner with them. And she got the whole first discussion, and her mother, who is also an atheist like myself, was very upset and was trying to figure out a way to respond in a polite way. And I said, you're just going to have to put your foot down. I'm not sure how polite you can be in this situation, but, if you just let them know that you don't want them indoctrinating their child, they probably won't. And it turns out that as soon as she said she didn't want them to discuss Mormonism with her daughter anymore, that they kind of stopped letting their daughter hang out with her at all. So it's definitely happening. I've seen it in more than one place where they are absolutely encouraging young people to proselytize to the youth that are not members around them. Anyway, as always, love the show. Keep doing what you do, and have a great day. Bye.
Well, thank you, Donnie. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty typical.
Yeah, so the families that are going to be doing that are also going to turn out to be the dicks.
Yeah. I mean, and they only see people in their potential to be a Mormon or not.
Yeah,
that's how they see the whole world is, I remember that mindset. I remember there was, like the mindset of like, oh, there's such so-and-so is such a nice person. She'd make a really good Mormon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She's already such a nice person.
I mean, and she doesn't even have a religion right now.
Right.
Here's the funny thing. I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah. I never had this shit.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Because,
we had, whole full-on youth conferences teaching us how to be,
oh my
every
God.
member a missionary, and,
it's so annoying.
Yeah.
We awful.
Wore little badges, like the missionary badges. And I think we did, went out, and paired up with missionaries. Yeah. I was about to use some lingo, but paired up with some missionaries and went out and would do the knocking door to door.
You were going to say splits.
I was going to say splits. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
it is. But they're targeting the kids.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Oh, absolutely.
They're coming for your children, people. And they're recruiting. They're coming for your children.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they absolutely are. And they're coming for you, but they know you're a harder sell.
They're going to get you. They're going to get the kid first.
Yeah.
And then if they get you, they get you. And if they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
Most of the time, though, even if they get your kid, it won't take. It won't last all for the rest of their lives or whatever.
I mean, yeah.
But yes, the correct course of action.
That might be true. That might not be true. My mom was a 12-year-old convert.
Oh my God. The correct course of action, I think, really is go to that parent and say, I'm sorry, but you don't have my permission to talk to my kids about this stuff.
Absolutely.
That is inappropriate.
Absolutely.
I would love. We love your kid. We want our kids to have fun together and blah blah blah. But
then also prep your kid, because this is the scenario. Mormons want their kids playing with other Mormons.
Right.
Right. They get a little weird with the non-Mormon friends.
They can.
And if there is a non-Mormon friend, then invite them to church and, involve them in the activities, get them to, Young Women's or on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Get them out to these activities. And I would say absolutely don't let them do any of it.
Yeah.
Don't let them go to the Wednesday night activities. Don't let them no, it's part of a bigger plan to convert your kid to Mormonism.
And they're going to, here's the thing, they're going to make it sound so innocuous.
Oh, yeah.
We're just, it's literally, there's not going to be any preaching. It's just a fun little picnic. That's all we're doing.
Right.
It's just, there will be a prayer.
Yeah.
But it's just a picnic. We just thought your kid might enjoy it.
Right.
And it is mostly that innocuous, but it's just, they're making inroads.
Yeah.
They're grooming. That's what they're doing. They're
grooming
grooming your children.
Grooming. They're recruiting your kids, or trying to recruit your kids.
Here's the other thing. I just thought of this as a tactic.
Mm-hmm.
They start doing that to your kid. They start talking about their church to your kid. Go to them and be like, my kid came and told me that you were talking to them about your church. And I thought, well, that's interesting. So I just wanted to make sure that this is what we're doing, because I'm going to I have some materials prepared for your kid to teach them about my atheism and what that's all about. And I just thought that would be an interesting exchange. So I wanted to thank you for that. And I assume that you're on board with me teaching your child
cultural exchange.
Yeah. I think that's a really neat idea. Oh, you don't like that? Well, then let's just not do it at all then.
Yeah.
Let's neither of us talk to each other's kids.
I was more than willing. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just not do it then. So
right.
You don't talk to my kid about your beliefs.
Being so difficult here.
Right. I don't think it's reasonable of you to be so upset right now. Right. What are you talking about? Well, okay. Well, we'll just go home then. Hail Satan. Bye. God. I remember going to a friend's house when I was a kid, and sitting down at their table. They had invited me for dinner, and my parents were not at all uptight Mormons. So, if I went to a friend's house that was a different religion, they didn't care.
They probably liked it.
Yeah, actually they did. They encouraged it. They made sure that I went over to my Jewish friend's house for Hanukkah and stuff and whatever. Yeah. Because they're all liberal and shit.
Yeah.
And look what it got him.
Yeah.
A heathen.
I know.
A heathen kid. Wow. Anyway, I went over to this kid's house knowing nothing about him except that he didn't show up to my church.
Yeah.
And we sat down at the table, and they all grabbed each other's hands for a prayer, and I was like, oh my God, what's happening? And I got really scared, and they just sort of held out their hands for me to hold, because, it's one of those hold the hands prayer things.
Yeah.
I was terrified. I thought I was maybe upsetting my real God by doing their fake God thing. I thought maybe it was a Satan thing. I was freaked out.
And it was just grace.
It was just great. It was just a Christian prayer.
Yeah.
And they happened to hold hands and we didn't.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God.
So
I
funny.
bet you were so judgy too.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I was judgy. I was just
really?
scared.
Oh, you weren't a very good Mormon.
No, I'm maybe not.
Because if you don't immediately kick into judgment mode, right?
You must have been a great Mormon. That is in your skill set.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read this one.
Shut up.
This is from Michelle. Hey guys, I was listening to the latest episode and I wanted to chime in since it sounded so familiar to my time in the Seventh-day Adventist church.
Oh.
I learned that it's Adventist, not Adventist.
All right.
Right? All right. I grew up in the church because it's Advent. You see,
I'm sure.
yeah. I grew up in the church. My grandpa is a pastor, and depending on what family I'm around, I still attend church from time to time.
Oh, okay.
Most people in the SDA church, the Seventh-day Adventist church, are actually vegetarian or vegan. This was in reference to we talked about the whole Mormon coffee thing and the word of wisdom business. Most of the people in the SDA church are actually vegetarian or vegan. I'm still a vegetarian to this day. Follow the biblical list of clean/unclean meats, meaning they don't eat owls or weasels.
I love a good owl.
Nope, no owls, no ossifrages.
I know. Come on,
they're
you
out.
Can't, like, you know how people are like, I just could never give up cheese. You hear this, right? Like, I can never be vegan because I can never give up cheese, right? I could never give up owl.
It's just so good.
It's
now wait,
so
are you into
good.
greater owl or lesser owl? Because
totally lesser owl.
you want a lesser owl.
Lesser owl.
That's where the good fatty.
The little darker meat. It's good.
Okay. They follow the biblical list for clean and unclean meats and, quote, don't drink coffee. I say it that way because we totally drink coffee and act like we don't.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, diet and healthy lifestyle are huge in the church, but sometimes the ideas they have about those things are a little wacky. The SDA church claims Kellogg as a member of the church from back in the day, and it seems to be a point of pride.
Wow.
It's even something we learned about in Sabbath school.
No.
Man,
Sabbath school.
let me tell you something.
I love that.
Because they don't have
Saturday.
because you can't say Sunday school.
It's Saturday school.
It's Saturday school. It's Sabbath school.
Sabbath school.
Yeah, that Kellogg was a fucking nutball.
I know. Well, and so all of our listeners know that too now.
Yeah. So
Because did you listen to last week's episode? I listened to last week's episode.
we went off.
You went off, man. It was amazing.
I supplied a little bit of. Yes.
It was amazing. I came closest to completely corpsing that I ever have on the show. Like, I almost lost it. Like, I was laughing to myself through the whole thing. I kept it together though. It was pretty amazing.
My goodness!
All right. Well, we have another voicemail.
Oh, please let's get in there.
I just love this voicemail. And I love that she shares this because she is correct. I'm actually jealous.
She is your people.
I am literally jealous.
She is your people
of what she got to do.
Yeah,
So here we go.
Hi, Frank and Dan. This is Jillian in California. I wanted to call and tell you about an exciting thing that happened to me today. I got called by a surveyor from NBC who was doing a national survey, and I was able to finally get one of these national polls and answer questions and be a participant. I've always wanted to do it. I'm like, actually, I feel like I won the lottery. I'm so excited because I got to, you always see these like, according to this poll, blah, blah, blah. And I always wonder, well, who are they actually asking? I've never gotten one of these calls in my life. But I got it tonight. And the reason I'm calling to tell you is not only because I know Frank especially loves anything to do with polls and statistics. So perhaps there'll be an interesting NBC poll out in the next few days that you might want to look at. But the biggest reason I'm calling is because I, at least according to NBC, am now officially on record as a nun. I was not only asked, what is your religion? And I was able to answer none. There was also a question about, I think in regards to American values, whether like strongly disagree or, somewhat disagree, or strongly agree or somewhat agree that, that being, I think personally being an American means like I place a high value on a belief in God or something like that. And I was strongly disagreed with that. But then the question came about just flat out, what is your religion? And I said none. And I was so excited because for years, of course, on your show and elsewhere, we've been talking about the rise of the nuns. And tonight I got to be one. So, of course, I always was one, but you know what I mean. Very, very exciting. So anyway, thought I'd share that and love the show. Keep up the great work. I hope you get to your goal soon. I've been catching up on some episodes, so I'm not sure. Maybe you're already there, but hopefully you're ad-free soon. And just Keep it up. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Okay, Jillian.
You have made Frank so happy and jealous.
Oh, just green with envy.
You're just seething with jealousy. You want to be that? You want to get that call?
How did I get that call?
You got to register your phone number with the American pollsters union.
Yeah, I don't know because like I just get like the worst spammy calls. Like I don't get anything good.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I personally, I'm in the opposite camp as you. I like with this sort of thing. I don't know. Here's the thing with political polls, especially. Mm-hmm. I don't. They're not trustworthy, as we've learned.
Right.
They're not, and I feel like when we have a lot of like an abundance of polling data, like candidates play to the polls, right? They end up like work. So if I had a huge pulpit, I think I've said this before on the show, but if I had a huge pulpit bigger than just this show, which is a decent size, the listening audience
pulpit
is a good size audience.
We could fill a mega church.
Yeah, sure. And then some.
And then some.
But I would like, if I had, a huge audience, I would say always lie to the polls.
Yeah.
Because I want to undermine them so that they're not playing to the polls.
Well, let me tell you, you do lie to the polls.
Everybody does.
In large part, polls, when they ask you the questions, you typically have aspirational responses, right?
True.
Right? Like
people don't say like, because half of the questions are like a thinly veiled, nice wording of like, are you a piece of shit? Right. And you're just like, I'm a little bit of a piece of shit, but I don't want to tell this guy that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. No, like
it's why the polls were so wrong about how many people were willing to vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah. But I know I do it with like little surveys. The city sends me surveys. I signed up to get surveys from the city to see what my opinion. They seek out my opinion.
Oh yes,
right.
Yeah.
About things like how we should be spending money and whatnot.
Allocating those. Yeah. Did you take the recent one, the one that was about where we should be allocating federal funding?
Yeah, that was. Did you get that one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good for you, Dan.
Oh, I'm on the list too, Frank.
I was feeling very special, so you did just kind of ruin that for me, Dan. But no, like I'll take polls about like how they should configure the streets and all that kind of shit. Yeah. And and I'm just like and very excited, always very very giddy. But I often. And this is just the worst. I signed up for a community council's polls where I don't live, in a part of town that I don't live, because I feel like the people in that neighborhood are really kind of dicks about how their neighborhood is developing. And so I get in there just to get some voices on the other side of it.
Oh my God.
Because there's too many NIMBYs who just like want to shut down a lot of stuff that's happening. And I'm just like, no. And so I go in there and I'm just like the biggest YIMBY and I say I live in the neighborhood. I'm not good.
You're
I'm a bad person.
liar.
I'm a liar.
We're all liars. It's all for the greater good.
But Jillian, you hit the jackpot.
Yeah,
you really did.
Here's the
NBC national poll. That's a good one.
Here's the other great thing about what Jillian said. Which was she hopes that we hit our goal.
Oh, I know.
And that's great. And I hope we hit our goal too, for all of our sakes, because we don't want to be advertising anymore. We want to be done. Frankly, I want to be done with advertising because we're about to ramp up back into political season.
Yeah.
And frankly, I don't want Trump ads on our show.
Yeah.
Which
I don't want any political ads on our show.
Absolutely
to be
not.
honest. Like, it just feels gross. Feels people think we have like some control over it, and we just don't.
We have no control.
So it's like, let's just get rid of them.
So, y'all, do we have some people to thank this week?
Oh shoot, yeah. Just put the piece of paper away. We do. We have. Let me count them up real quick. That is like 9 new Patreons or patrons. This
amazing.
Week. We have 3 new faithful.
Okay.
Kate, Gary, and Nina.
Sweet.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
We have 4 new venerable listeners.
Ooh.
Deborah, Paula, Ellie, and Heather.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
And then we have 2 new saints.
What?
Saint Nico and Saint Jillian.
Oh.
I've wondered if that's the same person. It probably is.
Well,
And so that's awesome. And of course, always, we have our top donor,
our number one,
our Lord and Savior, Hannah.
Forever may she reign. You crazy bastards. I love you guys so much. Listen, if you want to participate in this, if you want to keep that ball rolling, we're so close to the next goal.
Yeah.
It could happen next week if you guys just pony up, or otherwise it'll happen in a couple weeks. But let's get there. Yeah. We always have to point out people drop out too.
Yeah.
So
but I just kind of wanted to say that this is happening so much quicker than I thought it was going to.
good.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't you think? Like,
it's great.
I
It's
was
amazing.
like, wow, this could really be kind of a long slog. I don't want it to be bugging our listeners.
Yeah.
Like,
we really don't want to
about
bug
this.
you.
But like, if with this help, hopefully it's just going to be a better show, and we can.
Amazing things are happening.
Yeah.
We're very happy. Thank you guys so much.
Dan,
I give up. I surrender. Whatever it
well, you
is.
better, because it's the apocalypse, Dan, and I'm angry, and it's every man, woman, child for themselves.
Oh my God.
And
I hope it's not the children for themselves.
Absolutely the children for themselves. Just kick them to the curb.
Kick them out. This is my house. I don't know where you're going to live, but I live here.
Yeah, I am not interested in the future of humanity. I am only interested in surviving.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. You guys, we reported on 2 things where people are training, where these religious nutballs. Look, they go to church every week, and their nutball fucking pastor is yelling at them about a war that's coming.
Yeah.
And the fucking guys on TV, you know, the Jim Bakers of the world, and the Pat Robert, mostly
selling
Jim Bakers.
buckets of food
So
you can survive the whatever it is.
The war is coming.
Yeah.
They're gonna get you, and they're talking about us. and we're gonna come and get them, and there's a war, and blah blah blah, and they're training for it.
I know.
The idiots are buying up guns by the basketful.
Well, and I mean, it just begs this question, right? Like, how long do you talk about it, and how long do you prepare for it, and how long do you train up a generation, right?
Right.
In biblical warfare, right? Hand-to-hand combat, close shooting skills, right?
Right.
Knife, how to kill someone with a knife. Like how...
Can I just say, I wish everyone at home could have seen how Frank was brandishing his knife in that
Well, I
little
don't know how
pantomime.
else. I don't know how else one would. And this is the problem. I'm so like the first to die, right? Like it's just over, right? The things, the wheels come flying off the thing.
You're the first to go.
One of the wheels is hitting me in the head.
Yeah.
Hopefully, right? Like I don't want to. Like we were talking about. Like we know someone who's on our side of things.
Yeah, an atheist, a liberal guy who
guns,
is prepped.
ammo, food, water, like
he's prepped
because of what we're talking about. Like if they're doing it, then why don't I?
Yeah,
why don't I get ready?
I mean, and you know, he's also prepped in case of like, you know, Salt Lake Valley is due for a big old earthquake.
Yeah,
we get earthquakes, and you know, we get all kinds of. If a horrible emergency happens,
Yeah,
he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
For a while.
yeah.
But that's, I mean,
Does he have a generator?
probably. I'm going to say yes. I think it's just his Subaru, but I don't know.
He doesn't have like a big old van. He doesn't have a big zombie killing van. Or anything,
No,
does he?
no. But he said he could be ready and packed up and driving in 12 minutes, and
Has he practiced?
I think so. I think he has.
Will he let us shoot a video of him?
Oh my God. He listens to this show. He is mad at me right now. I don't know. I love you. Anyway, the point is, and I really do love this guy, but the point is, there are different ways to respond to the fact that, as you were starting to say, at what point does all of this preparation turn into an aggression?
Well, where's the flashpoint?
Yeah.
Right, like what spark, ignites the whole thing?
I wouldn't,
and it turns from just being prepped into,
And I think that flashpoint, to some
something
extent,
weird, something scary and weird. And I don't think it's like destroy all of our society, like the society falls apart.
No,
unless there's other outward.
But that's the thing.
Forces that cause that, like a massive, horrible recession
Crazy
with
shit.
an idiot at the helm of the country.
Right, which is happening. Yeah. That's the problem, is that, like, I wouldn't be the least bit afraid of this shit if I didn't see all of these other things happening. The fact that, mass shootings in this country are skyrocketing. And, they're happening at rates that we've never even imagined could happen.
Yeah.
And hatred is being fomented nationwide by leaders of the country.
Yeah.
And say, I don't care. This isn't about like liberals versus conservatives.
Right.
This is about fucking
batshit crazy Christians. I'm just going to say it.
And fascism. This is about people.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Like and fascism always uses religion. Mm-hmm. Like this kind of extremism needs religion to be to thrive.
Yeah.
And it's thriving.
Yeah.
So,
oh God.
The question becomes our response. And I think that a lot of people are thinking that the response to them stockpiling guns is us stockpiling guns. I don't know, man. Like, you and I were talking earlier, and we were talking about how it's not entirely crazy to say, if they think a war is coming and they've got guns, we may need to be prepared for something, for some violence. And maybe that means arming ourselves. I'm not saying I'm going there. I'm saying that's not a crazy position to take. I'm saying when someone is arming against you, these fucking churches in Texas are gunning up.
Essentially the question is it a rational response to the world that we live in right now to go out, buy a gun, learn how to use it, so forth and so on? Is that what you're saying?
That's part of what I'm saying, yeah.
You're saying it is a rational response.
I'm saying
to
I understand that response. I'm not saying that that's where my mind goes.
Right.
But I'm saying I'm saying that there is an argument to be made on that side of things.
Because let me tell you, I can get behind having a little stockpile of water. Right?
Yes.
I can get behind having a little stockpile of food. Right? And I'm not talking about huge survive.
Not Mormon levels.
Not Mormon levels. But I'm talking about like maybe a week.
Because you guys have to understand, the Mormons used to talk about a 72-hour kit.
Right.
And that has been bumped up continually to the now Mormons are talking about 2 years worth of food.
Jesus Christ. It's absolutely insane.
2 years.
They also can't decide how long because that number just keeps going all around. A new administration comes in and
they're like,
the number
we don't
tweaked
need
again. But nonetheless, like a 72-hour kit, or you figure out how much water you might need for a week or whatever.
Sure.
Like natural disasters happen, right? Things happen that are so far out of our control,
right,
and outside of like the political system or anything.
Yeah, you look.
But it's like, well, it's not. You referenced the earthquake, right?
Yeah,
that is bound to happen sooner or later
in this
along
valley.
the Wasatch Front.
Yeah,
and like it's a smart thing. So like I'm like, like if it gives you a little bit of peace of mind, having a little bit of food and water, that's a smart thing, because there's also this where it's actually probably a really smart thing.
Right.
And then there's this other step. And it's like, I just don't know how to really get there.
Well, here's...
Right? Because I'm like, yeah, you know what? It might be smart to have a gun. And then I imagine having like a handgun and owning it and having it in my home.
Right.
I don't like it.
No.
I don't like it. And I think about, like maybe having like an actual functional, rifle or shotgun or something, or,
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
Well, here's the
I'm
thing.
more inclined, like a shotgun, okay, whatever. I don't know.
Well,
but like,
so the idea
handgun?
the idea is safety, right?
Yeah.
The idea is I want to feel like I have an extra measure of added safety if something goes askew.
I don't know why guns don't make me feel safe.
Well, here's the thing. They're not making you safer.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking, having a gun in the home makes you less safe.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking, that's an undeniable fact.
Yeah.
Having a gun in the home makes you less safe. It makes, it increases the chances of a family member getting hurt. It increases the chances of suicide. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of things that it increases.
Absolutely.
And you're far more likely to someone in the home's far more likely to get hurt than statistically speaking,
right,
than a home invader or the apocalypse is going to happen. An apocalypse of whatever kind is going to happen. So yes, you're not actually being safer. If you are the kind of person who feels safer with a gun in the house, just know you're not.
Right.
You're not safer. You just feel that way.
Right.
So, but when you think about these people prepping for a war, and we're the ones that they are prepping for the war against, it's scary. And then you think about, and then even, a lot of these guys, they're thinking about, like, even if it is just the natural disaster, hurricane, whatever, or, the earthquake here or something. Mm-hmm. I need to preserve my food for me and my family.
Yeah.
And the people are going to come and try and steal it away because they're going to be desperate. So I need the gun to protect me and mine and our food store. Yeah. Because we're not going to die just because they didn't prepare.
Right.
But that's never how it plays out. When you watch what actually happens in any of these things, now mind you, I am talking specifically about first world countries. I'm talking specifically, I'm not talking about the developing world. I don't know anything about that.
Right.
But in our country, what happens every single time is people rush to help.
Yeah.
People are not rushing to hoard their stuff. They are giving.
Yeah.
And, people leave their home in a place that's unaffected to go and help in the place that is affected.
Yeah.
Like, that is what happens in this country.
Yeah.
So to me, it seems like it's very, very clear that if your response, if you want to know, if you're thinking about, should I buy a gun to match him buying a gun, to me the idea is you're actually just escalating the problem.
Feels like that, yeah.
It's just an escalation.
Well, because you're buying into essentially their worldview.
Yeah. That's exactly. Their worldview, which by the way is crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that when we look at how humans respond to horrible things, the Holocaust is a different animal, and I don't know that I can talk intelligently about the mindset that happened there. And we're kind of we're going down some of those roads now in this country.
Things in the world that are a little Holocausty.
It's like the racism, the nationalism, all of this stuff is present here.
Oh, you mean specifically in this country? Yeah, I mean,
and in other parts of the world.
Yeah. But other parts of China, looking at you.
But what I'm saying is, when the shit really hits the fan, the worst thing you can do is participate in the othering of each other.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is participate in the humanizing of everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not I'm not too worried. I honestly think that if like there's some camps and they're training up some like this is a big country.
It's a smaller phenomenon than we make it sound.
Yeah,
when
like
it's reported,
like it's all you're if that's the story, then that's what you're focusing on. That's what you're hearing.
And you see a big picture of a bunch of guys with guns.
And it sounds scary that there's like this elected official who, but crazy people get elected to local office all the time.
Right. And that ding-dong is suddenly being called out by a mayor and a police. Yeah.
People stand up against, stand up to these kind of people, right? And I think that your point that people rush to help, I think that's why you have a 72-hour kit, because it's the thought of like, how long is it going to take before people start helping?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. How long will it take
for the help to arrive?
Right. And we may be in trouble. So I like the idea of hoarding more than enough food for your household so that you can help.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because people help each other. Yeah. And, if things get really, really bad, then you go and you loot the local grocery store or whatever you got to do.
Yeah, of course you do.
But yeah, I don't think it's a thing. I think the scarcity mentality, the terror mentality, the war mentality, that's their bullshit.
That's them. Yeah.
It's not us.
Yeah.
And we don't need to go down that road at all. It's not reality either. It's not how human beings work in general. So.
And don't forget that we're all stuck in our own little media bubbles.
Yeah.
That kind of keep feeding in the same narrative.
Yeah.
And it seemed I have to think that it's just not as bad as it seems.
Well, I mean,
that's ludicrous.
This is the problem.
It just can't be as bad as it seems.
Well, things can be pretty bad, but like you say, like stories like people prepping and all that sort of stuff.
That's what I mean. Like
it's still fringe. It's still small.
Yeah.
It's not anything to worry. It's certainly nothing. Now, mind you, I don't trust the people who are, our commander in chief is not someone I trust, but the U.S. military can put down a tiny little rebellion. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but they're not authorized to do that.
Don't undermine my point. No, I'm saying like if this, if that guy in Washington,
if it was a real thing,
decided the war is starting and we're going to fire the first shots, that'll end pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where we're landing on this.
Yes.
All right. If you have anything to say about this, and I guarantee that some of you have things to say about this, and you are either screaming at us or cheering for us right now, let us know either way. Write into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Indeed. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click the like button.
And while you're there, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group, but we will let you in. There's also been some tweeting happening from time to time. Find us at TGI Atheist.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of social media, thanks go out so much to Mackenzie for all of her hard work on the Facebook page, and thanks to Amy and Danny for their hard work as moderators of the Members Only Lounge.
And a big thanks goes out to the Red Rock Hot Club and to Gordon Johnston for the use of their music.
And big thanks to all of you for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.